Yo, what is going on YouTube? I know what you guys are thinking. I don't have my Packers jersey on, but it is Thursday night. The Packers haven't played yet. I figured I'd get this video recorded again so I don't have to do as much recording on other days. But we are here to talk about, well, this whole video is going to end up being week 7. It's in between 6 and 7. I'm done. I need to stop making that joke. But I can't really give you guys like a generality like going into this video. I'm just going to kind of get into all of the games as they happen. I guess real quick, if you want, I can give a preview of some of the games I'm looking forward to. I think Philadelphia, Minnesota should be a good game. Indianapolis, LA is going to be a good one. The Sunday night game between the Falcons and the Niners is going to be a good game. Tampa Bay and Detroit will be a good game, and that is about it. Again, I'm looking forward to my Packers hopefully getting a W, and if it's not a close game, I'm probably not going to wear a jersey for the whole video. You're probably going to see some outfit changes because I'm grinding. I'm recording whenever I can. So there you go. Let's get into the game, though. I meant plural. It's going to eventually be plural, but we're going to talk about the Steelers and Bengals, which just transpired on Thursday Night Football. And I have to say, this is probably one of the best Thursday night games we have gotten, I feel like, in a while. I don't know if I'm tripping on that, but my goodness. Joe Flacco rallies the Bengals past Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. They win by 2 in the battle of the 40-year-old quarterbacks. We knew this was going to be a fun game. I didn't necessarily think it was going to be a close game, but man, was this awesome. Joe Flacco, absolutely fantastic game, I think. 31 for 47, 342 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, looking at the slate of games this week, it's going to be hard for any of those quarterbacks. Not my name quarterback. Sorry, what the fuck am I doing? To kind of have the performance he did. Evan McPherson made a Money Mac 36-yard field goal with 7 seconds remaining, and the Cincinnati Bengals snapped a 4-game losing streak. They get the win. And I mean, Aaron Rodgers tried for the Hail Mary Eve. It fell incomplete. We know Aaron Rodgers is infamous for that. But even then, he threw 23 for 34, 249 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Sure, the 2 interceptions definitely hurt him a little bit, but he still had a hell of a football game. T. Higgins had some nice catches to set up go-ahead field goals. There were a lot of big plays. I will say the Steelers defense is pretty dog shit, but this was a very electrifying game. Pat Freiermuth, 68-yard touchdown, gave him the late lead, and Pat Freiermuth, what a goddamn game. Easily the best game he's probably had over the last couple of seasons. We've seen him deal with injuries. We've seen him come in and out of the rotation, and they use Darnell Washington a lot nowadays. But he had 5 catches, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That is incredible. Joe Flacco is finding guys like Noah Fant out there quite a bit. This was just a really good offensive game. It felt like a damn college game. There wasn't a lot of defense being played. Again, shout out to Pat Freiermuth. 2 touchdowns. But looking at the other performers, Jaylen Warren was a fucking beast this game. 16 carries, 127 yards, and honestly, I can say the exact same for Chase Brown. 11 carries, 108 yards. Jamar Chase, 16 catches. Are you joking? 16 catches, 161 yards, and a touchdown. The guy's a fucking animal. Fuck what I said about Jackson Smith-Njigba. This is the best receiver in the league. I don't fucking care. The fucking Bengals, no defense being played. Don't need to comment on that, but holy shit. Yo, what's going on, everyone? GZTV, we are back. We are at the end of the Sunday slate of football games, and honestly, there's only 4 games to talk about. This video is going to be pretty short this week, I do believe, but we're going to get into first my Packers and Cardinals, because man, oh man, what a fucking heart attack I damn near had. Well, I pretty much did have a heart attack this game, it seems like.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
But Josh Jacobs runs for 2 touchdowns. Micah Parsons has 3 sacks. The Packers rally past the Cardinals. They win by 4. It was not looking good at first. The majority of this road trip didn't go well for the Green Bay Packers, who waited on a tarmac several hours because of travel delays on Saturday before falling into a 10-point hole in the first half today. There's been a lot of turmoil, and that's not fucking excuses at all. Jesus Christ, we're not going to use that as an excuse, but it was a pretty thugged out what we did. Like, we had to really fucking put our heads together and win. Really good game, though. Jordan Love, nice touchdown pass to Tucker Kraft. Jordan Love had a decent game. I'm not going to sit here and say he had an amazing game. He threw 19 for 29. He threw for a touchdown. We just didn't really get the ball down the field. And I have a lot of complaints for why this game didn't go as smoothly as it should have. One of them is the play calling with fucking Matt LaFleur. Dude, you have a guy with one of the biggest arms in the NFL, and we're throwing screens, we're throwing curl routes, flats. I don't understand it. Bubbles, it's really stupid. Jacoby Brissett actually played really good. I have to give him credit. 25 for 36, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was a great performance on his part. Josh Jacobs had 2 touchdowns. Romeo Doubs had 6 catches for 72 yards to lead our wide receiver room. And shout out to my boy Trey McBride. He ended the game with 10 catches and 2 touchdowns, so he was cooking for my fantasy team. A few guys that cooked for me fantasy-wise, but looking at the Packers, really good stuff from Micah Parsons and Quay Walker on that defense, continuing to lead the way for us this season. Not the greatest defense at times in our secondary, but I do think our front is very strong, and that proved to be the winner today. Just so crazy because there's so many games that we don't need to talk about, and one of the games that we're going to talk about is pretty goddamn poverty because we are here to talk Panthers and Jets. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking the Panthers and the Jets game. The Panthers beat the Jets by 7. This is their third straight win. It is obviously pretty concerning. I didn't watch this game that much. I watched a lot of Red Zone earlier on in the day, like doing homework and editing the La Llorona video I just dropped today, but I didn't watch like full-on games. But it's very concerning because Bryce Young went down with an injured ankle. Carolina Panthers have a 3-game win streak for the first time with Bryce Young as their starting QB, but they had to bring Andy Dalton in pretty late. It's very tough to see. It's a competitive game. I'm not going to say it was a good game. Ridiculous catch from J.C. Horn. That's the guy they drafted years ago. He's starting to kind of peak a little bit. I mean, he's been pretty good. He's been borderline Pro Bowl for the last couple of years, but he had an insane interception this game. Shout out to him. He played fucking amazing. I think he had 2 interceptions today, I want to say. That's incredible. Bryce Young, he got sacked and kind of hurt his ankle. Again, hopefully he's all right. Prayers up. That's a young guy. You do not want to see him going down with an injury this early in his career. Justin Fields got benched this game. I don't really want to sit here and say it was Justin Fields' fault, but man, he either can't get the ball out of his hands or the offensive line sucks. One of the two. Bryce Young, though, 15 for 25. He threw a touchdown. Tyrod Taylor came in. He threw 126 yards, but he threw 2 fucking interceptions. Like, really? What are we going to do in New York here? Is it actually Justin Fields' fault, or is it just the trash system we have in front of us here? I honestly don't know. Xavier Leggetti had 9 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown. That was a great game, and I don't know who the Jets have here. Tyler Johnson, I think his name is. He had 3 catches for 60 yards. A lot of nobodies, a lot of absolute poverty football. Derek Brown's a solid player for the Panthers. He had 2 sacks today. Other than that, there's not much to say. Again, the last 2 games I'm going to talk about here until Monday night. Okay, technical difficulties, but I kind of forgot during the Packers game that we scored 27, which the jersey number that we haven't worn yet that is closest to that, unfortunately, is a guy that is still in the league and no longer on our team, which is Devontae Adams, so we're wearing that today. But again, only 2 more games to talk about today. We have the Eagles and the Vikings. Jalen Hurts jumpstarts the Eagles by passing for 326 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 6-point win versus the Vikings. A lot of criticism, a lot of doubts on the ability of Jalen Hurts, and he put a lot of that to rest today. One of the most efficient, crazy quarterback performances of the season. 19 for 23, 326 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is incredible. Though many of the elements that made the Philadelphia Eagles champions last season had been missing during this unsettling start, their confidence in themselves never lacked. They are 5-2. I do think the media is kind of overreacting a little bit. They had some pretty bad losses, like losing to the Giants. Not great, but there you have it. Really good game. I enjoyed watching this a lot. Out of the red zone games, this was the most interesting. Devontae Smith with the longest touchdown catch of his career, 79 yards. It was just a really explosive game. A.J. Brown got in the end zone, like 45-yard receptions, man. Jalen Hurts, obviously the average shows. I mean, completing 19 passes and 326 yards. You have to be airing it out, and that is exactly what he did. A.J. Brown had 2 receiving touchdowns, but really it was Devontae Smith out there getting that goddamn ball down the field. 9 catches, 183 yards, and a touchdown. Jordan Mason got back there, took a direct snap, took it to the end zone, and honestly, the Vikings put up a fight, which is obviously why we're talking about this game. Carson Wentz threw 26 for 42, 313 yards. 2 interceptions is pretty goddamn terrible when you're playing a guy as efficient as Jalen Hurts, but there you go. Jordan Addison, 9 catches, 128 yards. I think it's nice to see Justin Fields have a companion that can finally put up some yards and put up some good performances. I think that's been what they've been missing for the last couple of years, but they have it in this game. Zach Bond, I gotta give credit on that Eagles defense. He has been incredible this season as kind of a field general, but there's that game. Next up, we have the Giants and Broncos, and I don't know how the hell you lose this fucking game. The Broncos stun the Giants. They win by 1 with a last-second field goal. Historic comeback. Once the bumbling Denver Broncos finally got going, they couldn't be stopped. They just kept fucking at it, and this might be at this point a fucking Brian Dable problem. That's just terrible to let that up. Still a good game nonetheless. Shout out to Will Lutz, knocked down the game-winning kick. He's made a decent amount of those in his career. Jackson Dart ran for a late Giants touchdown. And Jackson Dart, 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. He looked all right, but he also threw an interception, which can be very costly in games like this. Bo Nix had a go-ahead touchdown pass, made some impactful plays. He threw 27 for 50, 279 yards and 2 touchdowns. Theo Johnson, tipped catch, 41-yard touchdown. Sure, there's a little luck in how Jackson Dart played, but the Giants still put up a hell of a fight, even if they absolutely just fumbled the fuck out of this game. J.K. Dobbins, though, for the Broncos, Broncos in terms of the running game. 14 carries, 81 yards really helped them out in that aspect. And two solid receivers going at it. Wan'Dale Robinson, 6 catches for 95 yards. Usually not the wide receiver one, but he's been doing a pretty good job at stepping in place for Malik Neighbors. And we have Cortland Sutton going 6 catches, 87 yards. And really, it's again, Alex Singleton's been a great player. Jonathan Cooper's been a good player. The Broncos have all sorts of guys. I don't think Patrick Surtain's necessarily shined this season, but them just like getting the stops, like I know they gave up 32 points, but getting the stops like somewhat late in the game and just allowing their offense to come right back on the field, I think that's very important. So shout out to the Broncos. They're 3-0 at home. I don't know if this was at home, but they are 3-0 at home. Wanted to bring that up. I will wait for the Monday night games to finish up this video, but there you have it. Well, what's going on, everyone? GZTV, we are back. I don't know why I keep introducing myself again and again. I literally did that at the beginning of the video. Sorry if the jersey looks a little silly, but we are here to talk about the Monday night game between the Texans and the Seahawks, and then that's going to wrap the video up. That's literally all the games we have for this week. Very short week of good football. It's fine, though. I'm fine with this. There's really not much to say about this Texans-Seahawks game. I mean, it was a good game. I tuned into it a little bit, but I mean, really, the big headlines comes from the sideline scuffle after an interception thrown by Sam Darnold, and Jackson Smith-Njigba, my GOAT, got involved there, so that was kind of crazy. Texans created some takeaways. Their defense tried, but I don't know. Their offense just really isn't cutting it right now. It's really bad when CJ Stroud is your leading rusher and he has 2 carries for 25 yards. Oh, that's pretty terrible. Charbonnet had 2 touchdowns this game. Him and Kenneth Walker are pretty good complementary pieces on this team. Sam Darnold had a lot of turnovers. Like, this was a very sloppy win for him. I mean, he threw 17 for 31, 213 yards and had a touchdown, but he had a pick and I believe a fumble. It was a pretty sloppy game. Kaimi Fairbairn hit a field goal for the Texans, or hit a few, I think. Just looking at the other performers, I don't really feel like talking about this game that much. CJ Stroud threw a touchdown. I mean, he played kind of shitty. He was really bad this game. He also threw a pick. So I don't know. Dalton Schultz had 9 catches for 98 yards, and Jackson Smith-Njigba, dude, I'm telling you, up there with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, this is the best wide receiver in the league. 8 catches, 123 yards and a touchdown, and they have a really good defense. Ernest Jones, a great guy, and they get the victory. That's all. Well, that is going to wrap it up. I'm going to save this to my OneDrive and then post it on CapCut and work on editing a little more. I'm already like 4.5 minutes into the editing process, so this video should most definitely come out Wednesday. Now, some big announcements. I think tomorrow night, if I'm on a whim here, I might think about actually going to see the Conjuring movie in theaters, because that's pretty awesome if they're still showing it. I think it came out literally a fucking month ago and they're still showing it in theaters. Fuck it, might as well go. I'm probably gonna be the only one there, but either that or I'm just gonna rent it on Amazon, which I think is more expensive actually, so we'll have to see what happens. But with that being said, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Good week of football. Follow the socials wherever you are at, wherever you're seeing a reel. If you find me on Instagram, follow whatever page you find me on and come over here and we can talk football. Every single week there are good football games, and coming up actually, the NBA season is starting up literally tomorrow at the time I'm recording this, so every single night we will also be doing NBA recaps, so that will be a lot of fun as well. Peace.